So we're going to look at VRAM, and this is a very interesting benchmark because very easily you can add multiple GPUs here in this benchmark and test how many and how good are multiple GPUs if you just add multiple. Remember, we've done multiple builds here, like the Oppenheimer build, space rocket ship build that now costs, I don't know, 50, 60 something grand. I don't know how much. But as you can see here, having multiple GPUs does make a huge difference here. I've got two 4090s, two 5090s, and three 4090s, and you can see that the scaling is very, very good. There's big jumps. It's not exactly linear, so you're not going to get double the performance if you put two of the GPUs in there, but you can get more performance if you need. So high-end guys who want to build on threaded platform, you can have plenty of power in there. Bear in mind, make sure that you have enough PCIe lanes when doing that.
It's time your CPU is not the bottleneck anymore. MSI Radeon A18HX featuring the AMD Ryzen 9 9955HX 3D processor with 16 performance cores and 144 megabytes of second-gen AMD 3D V-Cache technology. Not just the world's fastest mobile gaming processor, but also a great workhorse for creators. It's for those with extreme performance needs and no compromises. MSI Overboost Ultra technology delivering 175 watts of graphics power to the RTX 5090 plus additional 85 watts to the AMD Ryzen 9 9955HX 3D processor. That's a 260 watt total portable power, and the CPU allows full overclocking for the enthusiasts. Plenty of I/O, including two USB 4 ports, full-size SD card reader, and an RJ45 port. 18-inch mini LED 4K display with 120Hz and display HDR 1000. Gen 5 NVMe with a dedicated heat pipe for cooling. Whether gaming, creating, or AI workloads, it delivers in all fronts. Check out more information in the description below, as well as our full video on this laptop. Thanks AMD and MSI for sponsoring this part of the video.
Next, I want to focus on this yellow bit over here. We can see that there's 5090 and then two 4080s. If you have two 4080s in RTX scores, which is the red one here, we're actually better than the 5090. So depending what you're doing, you might be actually worth going with two 4080s because you just get more rendering power. I don't think V-Ray can actually pull the VRAM together, so you're still going to be limited at the single card VRAM capacity. So in that sense, the 5090 will be better. But if that is not an issue for you rendering, you might want to buy more of the actual lower cards. Then in this area here is multiple 4090s. So I've tested plenty of these liquid cooled or non-liquid cooled, and as you can see, the performance is within margin of error across all of them. The RTX scores are slightly different, and then the Asus 4090 Matrix Platinum is the biggest one or the highest one right over there. Honestly, the same card, doesn't matter whether you go OC version or super high-end liquid cooled or the very basic version. For your performance, you're actually going to get exactly the same performance. So hopefully that's going to save you some money. Next thing, what I want to show you is these purple section on the top end there. And what we can see is the 5080 and 5070 Ti and 4080 Super, there is not that big of a difference. Yes, the 5080 is the best out of this four here, right over there. But at the same time, between the 5080 and 5070 Ti right over there, there is not that big of a difference. And if you look at the price difference, the 5070 Ti is a very, very good option. The 5070 Ti is only slightly better than the 4080. So if you find the 4080 Super, bear in mind it has to be Super, not 4080. If you find the 4080 Super, it's basically the same performance as 5070 Ti, and you're not going to get that big of a difference going just between architectures, because in 3D you don't really mind if you're using, you know, the new media engines for Nvidia decoders. Perhaps going with 40 series, that should also save you some money. Then looking further down in this bit over there, we can see that the 3090 Ti Supreme, so this is the MSI one that I benchmarked. The Zotac one is further down over there. Look at the 3090 Ti is basically exactly the same performance as a 4070 Super. Now bear that in mind, between the 30 series and 40 series, there is a huge jump in performance. You can see that the 3090s and then the 70 of the next series here, they perform roughly in the same ballpark. But then at the same time, between 50 and 40, so the latest 50 series, they're only marginally better. So perhaps if you're coming from 30 series, upgrading to 50 series might be a worse of idea, depending what price you find the GPU. Maybe 40 series might be a better bang for buck for you. Then look at the bottom section over here. Interestingly, 5060 Ti is actually better or performs within margin of error of 3080. And the 3080 has 10 GB of VRAM, whereas the 5060 Ti has 16 GB, well, at least this one there. So depending what price you're getting them for, actually going with the 5060 Ti might be a better option for you, which is interesting. Another interesting option over there, what we have is the Apple M4 Max. Interestingly, Apple for some reason lets you benchmark the V-Ray as well, so it can work in there, but the M4 Max is roughly about the same as a 3080. Impressive in terms of laptop performance, but not impressive in terms of GPU performance on Nvidia. Now, I've got all the numbers here for you as well, if you want to check them out right over there, or scan the QR code on the screen now, or check out the links in the video description below. Or check out the links in the video description below, because there you can just get the data for all of this and you can scan that out. Congratulations! If you've reached this part of the video, you're in the top 13% of people's attention graph. And there's more than 50% chance that you seeing this means you're not subscribed. So consider subscribing, hitting that bell icon, liking the video. It would mean a world to us. If you'd like to get detailed access to our internal benchmark database of CPUs, GPUs, SSDs, and so on for creators, then may I invite you to sign up to our newsletter, where we send out relevant information a couple of times a month when there is information. I'm not interested in flooding your inbox. This is when there is good information to share for your creative workflow, then we'll send those emails out. And also you'll get the most exclusive access to some of the behind the scenes, perhaps even giveaways. So scan that QR code or link in the description below. If you've got any urgent questions to me personally, you can always reach out on Minect. I'll always get back to my messages. If you're looking for a new hoodie, may I recommend this one. This is not just any cheap random hoodie. This is a high quality hoodie that you can get. And when purchasing this, we get a small little kickback to help us build what we're building here. My passion is to help creators choose the best tech for their workflow and help them save some money in the process. This is Tech Notice, and if you've reached this part of the video, you have been upgraded to the top 5% of the people who ever see this part. And now YouTube thinks that you'll like this video, and if you haven't subscribed, you can do it on this side. Thanks very much, guys, for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.